Hey guys, Weir, Roota.com. Want to talk briefly about conspiracies, conspiracy theories, conspiracy facts, and just all the craziness going on. The problem is behind the scenes, we don't get a full view of what's going on. We can kind of see it here and there, and there's information leaked by the good guys, by the bad guys. You can't sort it out. It's coming from everywhere. There's definitely something going on, and some of it is leaking into the mainstream these days. I do follow this guy, Ben Fulford, ever since I cracked up at his video where he interviewed Rockefeller with the big orange microphone. Classic. And everybody's like, oh my God, he must be highly connected. I don't know if he was highly connected. He clearly didn't have the million ninja warriors ready to take down the bad guys. I think it would take a lot more than that to take down the bad guys. But it was kind of a hint that there is something going on behind the scenes that we're not aware of and we're not privy to. And so I do follow a lot of the conspiracy people just to soak up the things that might be in line with what my analysis of the Road to Roota information was, that there are people behind the scenes trying to take down the criminal cabals and the bad guys and the monetary rulers and things like that. That I absolutely do believe in. But you got to take these conspiracy sites and people who get information from other people with a grain of salt, always with a grain of salt, and then do your own homework and listen to who you want to listen to, myself included. Don't believe everything I say on these videos. I do my best to sort out the crap from the good stuff and then apply it to the Road to Roota theory. The Road to Roota theory being that there are people behind the scenes trying to destroy and remove the bad elements within the monetary system. And I still believe that to this day. And obviously, things are moving quite well as related to the setup of the crypto economy right next door to our old, fading, dying economy of unbacked fiat money run by centralized bankers and criminals. But there's a blend, and even within the Federal Reserve, you can't do illegal things with a guy right next to you who's not part of the plan. So it's getting more and more hard, more and more difficult to pull off financial issues and problems. I wanted to go over a couple thoughts here on Ben Fulford's latest. I am a subscriber. If you guys are interested in the conspiracy stuff, subscribe to Ben Fulford, benjaminfulford.net. It's cheap, and he gets good information, he gets bad information. It's your job to take what you want from it and implement it into your thoughts about where we're going. But here's what he's saying in today's post, or a couple days ago. Purge of Khazarian mobsters intensifies as Trump is kept safe in Asia. There can be no doubt whatsoever that the worldwide purge of the Khazarian mafia has now reached a tipping point of no return, with arrests and purges in the United States and Saudi Arabia. He calls what I call the bad guys the Khazarian mafia. In the Middle East, Iran-linked Hezbollah now effectively rules Lebanon after Saudi puppet Prime Minister Saeed Hariri was forced to resign. His resignation was followed by the purge of hundreds of princes, generals, religious leaders, and others by de facto Saudi King Mohammed bin Salman. This purge was especially important because it cut off one of the last major remaining sources of Bush, Clinton, mafia money and power. I do believe that is absolutely true. Many of the princes purged were homosexually bonded with members of the Bush family and their top lieutenants when they studied in the United States, according to confessions of Kay Griggs, wife of Skull and Bones member, and others. I don't know about that, but I do know that the Bushes and the Clintons are knee-deep in the pedophilia stuff, so it would not surprise me. This is how Pentagon sources describe the unfolding crackdown. Quote, the Saudi purge of the Bush-Clinton pedo-terror faction, including Osama bin Laden's brother Bakr bin Laden and anti-Trumper al-Walid bin Talon, is timed to the Paradise Papers leak, which is more of the criminality of the offshore funds and all that the Clintons used, and all the bad guys hide their funds offshore. That's why it's so important to destroy all all the vestiges of the unbacked fiat monetary system. Because you can't have a revaluation. There will be no revaluation. That means there's deciders who are going to rejigger the value of each currency. But in the meantime, all the elites have their stashes, which amounts to probably 99% of the currency, hidden away. So yeah, you can revalue it, but they'll still control the world. So no, there will be no revaluation and no prosperity funds and all that stuff. Those who have gold in Asia, bravo. Good for you. And we have gold in the United States that in the Grand Canyon and at Chocolate Mountain that blows away any gold out there. As far as I know, now when countries find significant gold mines within their country, most countries these days will just lock it up and say, okay, we're going to save this for later. The United States puts it in desert wildlife preserves in California and the Grand Canyon National Park and areas you cannot go, you're not allowed to go to check it out. And there are military bases within the Grand Canyon. There have been since the early 1900s, and I've proven this time and time again. And will I ever release the book I'm writing on that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it would be all that important as gold fades away into the past in favor of a new type of cryptocurrency and crypto economy. I don't know if Bitcoin will be the be-all, end-all of it all, but it doesn't have to be. There are many, many cryptocurrencies, crypto tokens that will become just everyday names within your household very soon. And I think 2018 is going to be the breakout year for the cryptos. Wahoo! We're excited about that because it injects honesty in every part. Everything a crypto touches injects honesty. That's why these crypto scams won't last too long, because they will all be subject to due diligence. And if you can't find out who's in charge of this company, you cannot find out anything about their trading bots, you can't find out why their coins aren't exchanged on any other exchange other than the ones they control. Absolutely. You know, every red flag brings the bar higher to be scrutinized, and the more scrutiny, the light of day shining on these companies. If they're a good company, they'll survive it and they'll come out much stronger. It's the anti-fragileness of the cryptos. It breaks and then you fix it and it comes out stronger. So if you can shine a light on who's involved in these companies and you know who's making the big money, is it a Ponzi scheme, meaning that the new money coming in is paying out the old investors and the new money, the new people coming in are the ones who are going to lose in the end? Yeah, shine the light on that. Absolutely. Everything needs to be above board in the crypto world, because although the transactions are you don't know who's doing the transactions because it's all coded. The honesty is in the fact that the transaction happened and was approved by everyone in the network. So it is an honesty machine, the blockchain technology, and the Ponzi schemes within the crypto space will, after this big one blows, BitConnect, after that blows, you're going to see a lot of scrutiny on every single crypto company, as well there should be. Absolutely. You need to know who's running these companies. You need the SEC is going to need to know who to go after if there's criminal goings on, and if they don't have they don't have an address, they don't have a founder, they don't have any employees. I mean, how crazy does it get? How much blinded can people be by the greed of seeing that they're getting crypto out of the system, not asking the questions of who's losing? There's always a winner and loser in any transaction. If this super trading bot is out there and is this amazing bot that always returns 1% per day, and you're getting 30% per year or per month, within a few years they'll own every single crypto in the world, and voila, you're the richest person in the world and no one else will transact. It's insane, my friends. So stay away. Anyway, moving on. So the bad guys are being taken down behind the scene. Here it goes into the arrest of Tony Podesta. and the surrender of Hillary Clinton, and John Podesta. Tony Podesta is a powerful Washington lobbyist. We all know about Tony Podesta, whose brother John was campaign manager for Hillary Clinton, chief of staff for Bill Clinton, and Al-Aweed brought large shareholdings of Rockefeller's Citibank. Ramifications of these leaks, arrests, and purges reach out in many directions. Aftershocks, further arrests, and further purges are sure to be felt and seen in the Middle East, Japan, Europe. Absolutely, this is a global thing. The takedown of the bad guys is global. So be aware. Already, Trump Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross has been implicated. So has Canadian magnate Stephen Baughman, whose family made his fortune selling booze to Al Capone. These names are just the tip of the iceberg. Absolutely. We're seeing it in Hollywood, and as I said, it would go from Hollywood to Washington, D.C., and to New York City, and to Chicago. There's so many bad things that have been going on behind the scenes. So I look at these Ben Fulford releases, and I look at them, I study them, how it relates to the Road to Roota theory, the battles between the good guys and the bad guys. No, I don't believe all of it. I do believe Ben tries to put out the best information he can, given that he receives all his information from other people. And then he cooperates, two people tell him the same thing, he'll think it's true, and things like that. Kind of like Kerry Cassidy does. And yeah, it might be true, might not be true. He might be getting fed false information. I always like people who do their own homework, truthfully. But this helps with my homework. And if I see something that links in with what the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston documents had told me, then I'm interested, and it adds to the overall picture of the puzzle. All right, what else? I'm not going to read you this whole thing because it's a paid subscription. If you're interested, go to benfulford.net. All right, let's see. For now, though, the Japanese slave political establishment, Ben lives in Japan, so he's knee-deep in the Japanese bad guys, basically, and good guys. Sensing that their survival is at stake, is working hard as it can to suck up to Trump as he visits this country. Sources close to the imperial family say the emperor rewarded Trump with a bond worth 1 quadrillion yen, about $9 trillion, courtesy of Henry Kissinger. I don't know about that. I don't care about that. $1 trillion or $9 trillion is nothing compared to the amount that they print and throw around behind the scenes in the black books, shall we say. No, the $20 trillion in debt that the United States have is a drop in the bucket compared to what they do without telling you. And you just think about it. If you're Steve Mnuchin, you're back there with a computer that can type in any amount it wants and give it to any government agency, secret government agency, or even if you want to take care of every person in the United States through some hunger program, you click a mouse, you create the money out of thin air, you don't tell anybody about it, and you go buy food for people. It's that easy, and it's done all the time. So $9 trillion just might sound like a lot of money, but it's a fantasy in the same facade that we live in, the unbacked fiat monetary system. This may buy time for Washington, D.C. corporation, of which Trump is the president. But its real fate is more likely to be decided in Vietnam when Trump meets Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Pentagon sources think Xi is now the true strongman in China and offering the follow-up analysis in his post-Congress position. Really interesting stuff if you're into the conspiracy world. But clearly there are things happening, and you see it in the mainstream media that the Saudi prince takedowns, the pedophilia ring starting to hit the upper echelons. And we talked about this ever since the beginning of the year. Trump has been putting sex slave facilitators in jail. Over 4,000 have been arrested. This is public knowledge. There's a great video of all the department heads that were in charge of the LA arrests, over 1,000 of them, talking to the press about it. And none of the mainstream media covered it because they don't want to talk about it because their bosses are knee deep in it. So yeah, it is happening. The takedown of the pedophiles, the takedown of the bad guys in the banking system, takedown of the Kissinger cabal, the Bush Clinton Obama cabal. Where Trump stands in this, I don't know. He is a tool of the good guys. He's been thrown into this position as acting president to be a bull in a china shop, and boy has he done that. And it's great. And the Trump pivot is actually happening right now, where all this Russian stuff that at the beginning of the election, Trump's like, oh, I love Putin, he's a great guy. It's suckered in the bad guys to literally frame Trump for working with the Russians, when all along it was the Democrats and the DNC and the deep state, Comey and the Podestas. Tony Podesta is right now getting busted for his role in Uranium One, where we're selling all our uranium to the Russians. Crazy stuff out there, but it's all behind the scenes. It was all behind the scenes before. Now it's being shown as being true. So, little feather in the hat of the Road to Roota, talking up about Pizzagate and that stuff when it first came out, and everybody was giving me a hard time saying, how dare you say this? This is the most ridiculous thing in the world. And I lost a lot of subscribers because I was talking about it. And now you see pedophile arrests everywhere you go. The next stop is Washington, D.C. And I do think we'll see some very high-profile people be arrested for their participation in that, along with other crimes. So, yeah, it is happening. It is coming. As Trump said a few weeks back, this is the calm before the storm. And ladies and gentlemen, you're in the middle of the storm. Welcome. It's exciting, and we're that much closer to becoming free and independent people again. I'm very excited about that. It's Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com. I'll talk to you later.